help with us in the specific area of BDA Toolkit and the 12 Steps of DA. Welcome, Albert.
I'm Albert. I'm a debtor.
Hi,
Albert. Without the overwhelming sense of shame that I feel sitting right here, I feel like a complete and total fraud. I don't work this program perfectly. I've been in this program for almost 8 years, and I've worked it imperfectly almost the entire time. I have there's a few of you who have sponsored me, a lot of you who I've done PRGs for, a couple of action partners, at least one mentor. And my life's a miracle because of this program and because of all of you. And I don't always show up and take responsibility for the miracles that have happened in my life. I don't take responsibility for my recovery, and I don't always show up a good representation of the higher power that I've come to know well in the rooms. And I just want to say that because there's a part of me that wants to show up and I'm not going to say pretend like things are better than they actually are, because they're pretty amazing. But I don't want to show up and try to impress anyone or try to impart some wisdom or some kind of bullshit story. I don't want to leave you with some impression of me that I'm somehow this amazing, inspirational person. I just kind of want to show up and talk about what my experience has been in this program. I came into this program. This is a tough program for me. I have a doctorate in organizational psychology, which is the highest paying field in psychology. It is a business psychologist. So there isn't much that I don't know about business. There isn't much I don't know about psychology. There isn't much I don't know about this problem that we suffer from. And all of that knowledge availed me nothing, absolutely nothing. The things that I've helped people do in their lives, the businesses that I've worked for, I've literally made millions of dollars for other people. And the entire time in my life and in my career, I've never felt like I was good enough, never felt like I could do enough for my employers, and I just always felt like I was not enough. And that's the story that I've had my entire life. And I don't think that that's going to change, because as I sit here now, as amazing as I think my life is, and as much that I'm grateful for in my life, I don't think I'll ever hit this place where I don't feel like I am a fraud. My favorite author writes a story of a man who kills himself, who's telling the perspective of his life after killing himself. He's telling the story of why he did it. And the central theme is because he was a fraud, because he never did anything without manipulating the way other people perceived him. And this was the reason why he had to do it. And I listen to this story whenever I feel completely and totally alone, and like nobody gets me. Yeah, the joke in my head right now is that I'm thinking about, I can sit here and say, I'm single, I got money in the bank, I have no kids, and that's a DA miracle. It's fucking amazing. And tomorrow morning I'll be at my SLA meeting saying, I'm single, I don't have any kids, I got money in the bank. So recovery for me is just like trying to get out of that diseased thinking that says that I'm not enough, that I have a perspective of my life. And at the end of the day, acceptance and gratitude is really the way that I'm trying to live my life. I'm going to talk a lot about God, and the one thing that seems to stand out a lot whenever I share is My conception of God for the last 4 years maybe has been this metaphor, and I think most of you have heard this, but I'm going to say it anyways. My higher power is this metaphor where NASA in 1996 pointed the Hubble telescope at an area of sky no bigger than a grain of sand stretched out at arm's length. So this tiny area of sky, and scientists said, there's nothing there, and time to point the telescope at the area of sky is really expensive. And after 10 days, photons that had been traveling for thousands of light years come into the sensors of the telescope, revealing 3,500 galaxies, each containing millions of stars. And when I first heard that, that became the metaphor for my higher power. My higher power is this tiniest thing inside of me that I don't believe there's anything there. There's no love, there's no forgiveness, there's no compassion, there's just nothing there. And what's been revealed to me over time in these rooms is that there's been more than anything I could have ever imagined. I have come to know myself in ways that I never imagined possible. There are things in my life that I didn't believe were possible for me. I believed that I was unlovable, unemployable, and just generally not deserving of the space that I take up in any room. I've never felt like I deserved to be there. And my imagination likes to run wild, and I like to believe that if I was not here, it wouldn't make a difference. No one would matter. It wouldn't matter to anyone, and no one would even notice. And that's just not true. It's not true. And while I struggle with that, I can't help but have so much love for the people in this room that have held space for me to find my place in program and in the world. Ask me what I do today, and I have no fucking idea what I do today. I literally do not know what I do for a living. I've come off a couple of weeks of a consulting project, business consulting, large-scale change management. That's kind of the thing that I'm really good at and something that I really love. But I don't know if I do that because God hasn't opened those doors without my trying to completely tear them down. And I'm surrendered today. I don't know where this program is going to take me. I don't know where I'm supposed to be. All I know is that I wake up every morning knowing that God is my employer, and my job, and this is written on a board on my wall. 4 things that I do for my job every day. I pray for a miracle. I'm open to a miracle happening to me. Number 3 is I look for miracles everywhere. And number 4 is I pray to be a miracle to somebody else. And that is my job. And as much as I like to go back to step 1 and pray for a miracle. And the job is to just be a miracle to somebody else today. And that means showing up and being of service, showing up to meetings, doing my best to fucking pick up the phone. I still have problems picking up the phone. And one day at a time, like my life is drastically different today. Somebody said a few weeks ago, she said, my lows in program used to be my highs. And that really is the case for me. I don't want to give credit to my recovery, to anyone in the rooms, to even God sometimes, because I want to believe that I can do this. I can make this work. And it's really bullshit that absolutely everything in my life that I have today, I have because I have a relationship to a higher power. And that relationship I've allowed to evolve, and slowly over time, I've allowed it to manifest in me. I am a fucking asshole. I I am filled with resentment and rage. In my 20s, I made more money in my 20s than I had in probably all my 30s and 40s put together. I was a consultant in the casino business. I used all of my education to design programming in the casinos so that I can fuck the players over, because they reminded me of everybody that I hated in my life. Don't even tell me that was it. 3? 5? Okay. I don't want to end on that note. Because it actually is it's hard for me, because I know that a lot of people in the room suffered from gambling, and I used my education to take advantage of players. And I consulted with the Department of Justice so that I can create policies that worked against the player. And I sat there and took offense to anybody walking into the casino wanting to take my money. That's how I thought of it. It was my money. That's how the bosses wanted me to think about it. And I hated everybody. And I sat there with a fake smile on my face, and I pretended to like people. And the players all loved me because they thought I was this really innocent, nice guy, but that was a part of the trick. I get you to pretend. I get you to believe that I care about you, and then I take advantage of that. And I fucking hated myself for it. I hated my life. I felt guilty for everything that I had, and I couldn't get rid of it quick enough. And in that time, I picked up a lot of bad habits, and all of those bad habits put me into several programs. For a while in this program, I thought my dream was to help other addicts who suffered from addiction. And I had that opportunity to do that. But because I wasn't taking care of myself first, I managed to blow that up. And it's been a huge part of my recovery to see where I've needed to take responsibility for my life and stop pointing the finger at everybody else. And this is the blessing of the rooms today for me, is that my life is completely, entirely my own. And the hardest thing that I think I've ever had to do is ask myself, now that my life is mine, what do I want to do with it? When you come into the rooms, they'll tell you to just keep your mouth shut and take direction. And when you grow up a people pleaser and you do everything for everybody else, it is a hell of a fucking thing to just take direction. I struggle with that because at the end of the day, I just want to be seen and heard and acknowledged and respected. I don't want to be directed. I don't want to be told what to do. There isn't anything that you're going to tell me to do that I don't already do, and that I don't already beat myself up for not doing good enough. If there's anything that you can take away from my share today, is the only way, in my opinion, the only way to do this program wrong is to not do it gently. I've never worked harder and more rigorously than trying to work these programs in the most gentle and self-loving way. I've learned to hold space for other people in a way that I never thought possible. A couple weeks ago, and I won't share this again, I promise. Some of you have heard me share this in another program. Someone that I really trust and admired and loved and opened myself up to, I was talking to about struggling in this program. And he told me to stop being a whiny little bitch. And then he went on to say that that's why women don't find you attractive. And then it just got worse from there. And in my mind, he justified everything that I'd already believed about myself. And for a few days, I believed that all I needed to do was stop fucking whining. And the beauty of that is once I got through the anger, the job for me is to then hold space for myself and love myself through the not enough that I seem to attract when I seek other people's help. The answers that I am looking for are all inside of me. And I have found that in this program, that when I reach out and someone can hold space for me to just be me, that what I actually want starts to get expressed. And I didn't have that before these rooms. I didn't know what I wanted. I don't know what I like. And to this day, I still don't really know what I like. But what I do know is that I get to look for that and not have to worry about whether or not you like it. I'm rambling now, but in my last, that was my last fucking use. That was it. Thank you for letting me share.